Good morning. This is Jory Vandenberg, the historian for the 388 Fighter Wing. I'm currently conducting a series of interviews of the 388th Bombardment Group Heavy. The members that are present at the 63rd Annual 388th Bomb Group Reunion, currently being held at the city of Savannah, Georgia, and today's date is 1 September 2012. And I'm currently interviewing the following individual.
Seymour, Elsie, Vann.
Okay. And you go by Jack.
I go by Jack,
Okay.
which my dad gave me that name because I jumped up like a jackrabbit when I was small.
Okay. All right.
And actually, I was about 14 years old before I knew I was Seymour.
Okay. They never got around to telling you, huh? All right. Well, that's pretty cool. And where were you born and raised?
I was born just a few miles from here, right here in South Carolina.
Okay.
Across the Georgia, South Carolina line.
Okay.
I had a sawmill. My daddy he built sawmills for
Okay.
big companies, and they were building them all around
Okay.
the southeast here in those days.
Okay. So you're kind of born and raised that way. And let me ask you, what was your job with the bombardment group, the 388th
I
Bombardment
was
Group?
a flight engineer,
Flight engineer.
top turret operator.
Okay. And so what was your rank?
My rank was tech sergeant.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you about when and where did you enter your military service? What time? Do you remember the year, the month and the year that you came in? Did you get drafted or you volunteered?
It was in October
Okay.
1943.
October 1943. Okay. So you volunteered?
Volunteered. Three other guys and myself. We decided we were going to volunteer so we could have
Okay. And how old?
we could choose the service we wanted to be in.
Yes, sir.
Instead of waiting to get drafted.
Yes, sir. That's a smart thing, right?
We decided we'd have us a few months of good time, and then we were going in, and that's what we did.
All right. So in October of '43, you went and joined the Army Air Forces. And where did you initially join up, and where did you get your initial training?
I joined in Jacksonville, Florida, and they had a bus waiting for us there to take us to Camp Blanding, which is a big base about 40 miles from Jacksonville.
Okay.
And we probably stayed there 3 or 4 days, and we shipped out to can't remember these names.
Okay. But what state? Do you remember what state?
It was a camp in Florida, down in Central Florida.
Okay. So you went down there. What was that training for? Was that just your basic military training?
We had some basic marching.
Marching. How to wear the uniform. How to say sir.
And
Okay. So how long were you down there? Was that initial
I
basic
guess
military?
we were there probably 2 months.
Okay. All right. And when did you get classified to be a bomber, be the flight engineer?
They had on the bulletin board, anybody that was interested in going out for flight training to be a pilot, to sign up, and so I did, and I passed all the preliminary deals, and they wanted me I had to show them a birth certificate.
Okay.
And I called my mother, and she told me where it was, where it was born and all that. And I called there and tried to get it, but they said they didn't have the record.
Okay. No record you were born?
South Carolina they said we were bad about keeping records.
Okay. So there's no record you were born, so you couldn't get a birth certificate.
Later on, when I had a chance to go back to England. I needed a passport, and I went to the post office, and they told me I'd have to get a written statement to the fact that they didn't have one for me.
Yes, sir.
So I called the capital city of South Carolina, which was Columbus, South Carolina, and the lady there wanted to know my name and address, phone number, and she said she'd get back in touch with me. And she called me in about 30 minutes and said, yeah, I did have a birth certificate.
Okay.
It named everything, my dad, my mother, and the doctor, and
Okay, so they did get
said
that.
the thing, it was C-A-N-N instead of V-A-N-N.
Oh.
They had misplaced that first, but everything else was correct. And,
Okay.
so they sent me a birth certificate.
Okay, all right. But back in the war era, you couldn't get one because for whatever reason, they just didn't have the records,
Well,
or they couldn't
they-
secure
what-
the records in time.
They had computerized everything.
Yes, sir.
So when I went to when I asked them to start with, they didn't have any record codes of that. It was in there, but it didn't show up
Yeah,
as Vann,
they
showed
couldn't-
up as Can.
Can, because they had it misspelled, so
Yeah,
that
that's
their
right.
records didn't show you didn't exist.
That's
So because of that, they wouldn't let you be a pilot, but
That's
they
right.
could let you stay in the Army Air Forces, but you couldn't be a pilot. So,
Yeah, I could go to AM school,
okay,
and that's where they shipped me out to North Carolina, Seymour Johnson Field,
okay.
and
And so you got training as a flight engineer?
flight
And
engineer.
what is the main job of a flight engineer?
Well, you have to
V-17.
know that ship,
Okay.
Right to end.
Now, at that training, were they training you specifically on the B-17 or just general?
No, just
general?
they trained me for the different hydraulic systems, engines. We had to, on one occasion, we went on a bivouac in the woods and had to tear down props and put them back together, and engines, replace engines and so forth.
That was mainly in case you had to make an emergency landing somewhere, you need to make some quick repairs or something? Is that was the main purpose for that?
I suppose so. It was my job when we got a plane here in Hunter Field. It was my job to take care of that plane
Okay.
till we got it to where it was going.
Okay,
And I stayed with it, pre-flighted it,
okay,
made the necessary inspections and all that.
all right, they were trained to do that. Okay, so that was, about the time you got there, that, would you say that was around December, or maybe December of 43,
No,
January
the time
44?
I got there was in May.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So it was about May of 44
Yeah.
is when you arrived up at Seymour Johnson Field,
No.
North Carolina? No?
No.
All right, I apologize for that.
No, that was when I arrived in England.
Okay, all right. But, well, I was trying to get this chronology down. So, but after you got your flight engineer training, when were you assigned to a bomb group or bomber crew? That happened before you left the United States?
When I left the AM school in North Carolina,
Okay,
I went to, they shipped me to Fort Myers, Florida
okay,
for gunnery school.
all right.
So,
So you went there for gunnery school?
yeah.
Okay. And that was, what, about 2 months?
Probably
Training? Okay,
a couple of months.
all right.
I remember one thing that happened there. They had this 2-engine plane with a turret in the top of it. I don't recall the name of the plane, but it was one they'd put about 6 men in there, and we'd go out over the Gulf and take turns shooting that and working that turret,
Okay,
which was the same as all top turrets.
yes, sir.
And we had had our flight and came in, and we were waiting on the back porch. There were several buildings with a good 100 feet between each of them.
Okay.
Lying up there, and so somehow we were on the back porch of that building, and this plane came in with another 6 flyer. It hit out, hit on the runway and bounced and came between our building and that next building, just pancaked in there.
Whoa.
And you could see the 6 men, and you could see the men in there just screaming, and it was on fire. And so they all perished right there.
Wow.
And they gave us a chance to, they said we could, all of us was there and witnessed that. They gave us a chance to quit if we wanted to, or keep going. So
Okay.
I don't think there was the one that quit. I
Yeah.
think we all kept going.
That's the way life is going to be if you stay in this career.
Right.
Okay. All right. So after you got done with that gunnery training school, I guess you got to be real good on the turret gunner. Were you trained on any of the waist gunner, the tail gunner at all in that function?
Well, we were just general trained. You started off with a 22 like you see in the circus. You
Yes,
shoot
sir.
these things. That's the way we started. Then
Okay.
we went to shotguns, went to the skeet
Okay.
range. They had like a barrel on the back of a pickup truck, and you was inside of that, and it went around a course, and
Okay.
it was tripping different
Different targets and things that
targets,
pop up.
and then you had to, when it tripped it, you had to automatically get on it and
Okay.
shoot it, and
All right. So you got
they
pretty
scored
good at that.
you know.
They
I
scored
got
you.
pretty good. I got in really good. One of the instructors at the regular street shoot, we got to be good friends, and I could go out there and shoot more than the rest of them.
Okay.
And he taught me to shoot from the hip, shooting the skeet. And once you got the knack of it and hit them, you just hardly missed.
Okay.
And I did that.
You got pretty
and,
good at it.
Yeah, and we used to put up a little bet, and not bragging, but I used to win it most of the
Yeah.
time.
And good for you. Go, Mr. Vann.
And
Okay. So you got done with the gunnery school, and then what happened?
they shipped me to Tampa, Florida, to
Okay.
Drew Field
All right.
for crew training.
Okay. And that's where you first met your crew that you were going to be
Yes.
with eventually at Nettishaw.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had an assignment to a barracks, and then I think this first guy that came in, he was one of the waist gunners,
Okay.
John W. Doran. He was from Massachusetts, a thoroughbred Irishman.
Okay.
And
So there's one waist gunner. Who was the other waist gunner?
then had a
Remember the other waist gunner?
yeah, his name was. In fact, he just passed away last year.
Okay.
Ray Rome.
Ray Rowe.
Ray Rome, and he was been my best buddy late in coming to the meetings.
Oh, okay.
He and I was always here,
Okay.
and some of them were here at different times.
All right. And then the tail gunner was, who was the
Tail gunner was Basil Smith.
Okay.
He turned out to be my best pal.
Okay.
He was from Tennessee.
All righty. And then your belly turret gunner?
And
I mean the belly gunner? The ball gunner?
Gene Forte
Okay.
from Texas.
All right. And your radio operator?
My radio operator was Wow. Art Smith.
Art Smith? Okay.
Art Smith.
And he was
He
from
was
where?
he was,
Little fellow?
no, he was fairly tall.
Okay.
But he was a little controversial.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't make it with us all the way.
Oh, okay. As a radio operator? Okay. So eventually, was that the only crew member you had to replace throughout
Yeah.
the duration of your deployment? He was the only one?
Was,
Okay.
was.
And then you had a navigator, a bombardier,
Bombardier. Co-pilot.
two co-pilot, pilot. Who was your navigator?
His name was, my goodness, Al Weidenbush.
Okay. Okay. And then where was she from?
He was a good navigator.
Good. You need a good navigator.
Never got us lost.
Navigator's almost as important as that pilot.
Huh?
That navigator's almost as important as that pilot.
You better believe it. Well, somebody asked me how he was in front of him, and I said, well, we never got lost, so I think he was a good navigator.
Yeah, that's a very good navigator. You never get lost. It's the worst thing. Anyway.
And we had chances to get lost, too.
Yes, sir. I think y'all did quite a few times. But okay, then who was your bombardier?
Bombardier. That was Harry Montevideo.
Harry Montevideo. Okay. And where was he from? Where was he from?
He was from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay. And then your co-pilot?
Co-pilot was Ralph Reese.
Okay.
His son is here.
Yes, sir. Okay, I met the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ralph was a good co-pilot. He was just he was an average Joe. He just was.
Okay. And then your pilot was?
John P. Gauthier.
Okay. And he was from where? John P. Gauthier was from where?
He was from Minnesota. St. Paul,
Okay.
Minnesota.
All right. Okay, so you start meeting your crew members up in Tampa, Florida. And about what time do you think that was? Was that around May March? Probably March, February, March of '44. In other words, how long did you work with your crew members before you headed off to Europe?
We had quite a few training missions.
Okay.
We would leave Tampa through field, make a bomb run on Miami.
Okay.
Then we'd make a simulated bomb run on Jacksonville,
Okay.
and over to New Orleans, and back to Tampa.
Okay. You did all that in just one mission?
That was about one mission.
Yeah. Okay.
Then a lot of times, some of the time we had a bomber down one time out in the Gulf, and we were flying low over that Gulf, trying to spot some survivors.
Okay, looking for
I
him.
remember that deal. And
Okay. All right. So you did that for a couple of months, learning how to do that.
Yeah,
And then it
I
was
think so,
time to
yeah.
head on to Netashop, right? Okay. So when did
we
you?
left there, we heard we was going to get a delay in route,
Oh, okay.
10 days.
10 days.
But next thing we knew, we were on the train in Tampa there, and the band was playing outside and marching. So
Yes, sir.
we figured we was on our way then.
On your way for sure. Okay. All right. So you had a. So when you got on the train, where'd they train you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go
We
on the
went
train?
from there to Hunter Field.
Okay. You came here to Savannah,
Yep,
and to pick up your plane.
that's right.
Okay. Now. Okay. Go ahead.
I said we picked up a brand new B-17, and pilot thought sure that was going to be his plane all doing the missions overseas.
Okay. Real proud to get this brand new.
Anyway, we got there, we left Hunter Field, and we stopped we landed in New Jersey.
Okay.
Co-pilot was from New Jersey.
Okay.
The officers went over there to visit with the co-pilot's family.
Okay.
And, And us enlisted men, we have a little time off. We just spent it around town there.
Okay. And do you remember what date that was? Around the time frame?
Oh, my goodness. Nope.
Is that around that May 1944?
It was
Or end of April?
April. Probably was in the last of April sometime.
Okay. Because that's when you're first starting to head over there. Okay. All right. So y'all kind of hung around New Jersey for a while.
Well,
couple
no,
of
we
days or
just
a
stayed
couple
there
hours?
overnight.
Just an overnighter? Okay.
And then left there and went to Bangor, Maine.
Okay.
Stayed there, I think, 2 nights.
Okay.
Being a flight engineer, it's my job to stay with the plane
Yes, sir.
and take care of the plane. And Bangor, Maine, I think, is the coldest I ever got in my life.
Yes, sir. And that was in
Put
April?
on all the clothes and I could get on me, and it still was cold.
Okay.
And the first time I saw the northern lights there, what do they call it?
Yeah, Northern Lights.
And
Aurora Borealis.
oh yes,
That word. Try to spell
and
it.
that was something.
Okay. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so you're there just for a couple of days, refueled, everybody loaded up, and then you headed from where
We
to there?
went from there to Goose Bay, Labrador,
Okay.
and I think we stayed there 2 days. I remember that some Navy guys came around. They said that they had access to a little spirits.
Okay.
Come to find out, they were bringing them spirits up the coast. They were flying coastal,
Okay.
and they brought spirits up there and sold them.
Oh, yeah. We're bootlegging the stuff, were they?
Yeah. So
Shame on
we
you.
supplied us
Yeah.
for a little bit of that,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I had pre-flight the plane,
Okay.
and I brought 4 of the guys out. We pushed the props through,
Okay.
and me and the tail gunner got in. I run the engines up.
Okay. So then y'all took off from Labrador and headed to where? Was it nonstop from there, or did you stop over in
We
Iceland?
stopped in Iceland,
Iceland. Okay.
and I think maybe we stayed 2 nights there.
Okay.
2 days.
And then you headed on down. Did you end up down in what, in Prescott?
Yep, Prescott.
Okay. Is that when you found out that wasn't going to be your plane no more? You can tell I've been talking to people about
Yeah,
that issue.
that's
now.
right.
They're bringing brand new planes
Took
over,
that-
and then you find out. Okay, so that's why. So you end up at Prescott, and then what happened there?
Well, they had to get that plane in combat condition.
Okay.
They had to do a little work on it.
Okay. All right. So then.
Then they shipped us. We went down to Stone, England.
Okay. Without a plane.
Huh?
Without the plane, or with the plane? Did y'all fly down there to Stone, England, or
No,
put
we
you on a
just
train?
went on a train.
Okay. So they took you down there, and when did you end up in Nettishaw?
And then after that, well, after Stone, we were around there. Somehow we were up at headquarters, and the American flag pole was there, and had a flag on it.
Okay.
And I don't know what we were doing at headquarters, but we were out there. And these P-47 fighter planes were stationed there somewhere close,
Okay.
and they were making hits on the top of that flagpole. Oh, they were diving and see who could come to the closest, I guess.
Okay.
And one of them hit the darn thing.
Whoa.
Ooh, it made a real loud noise.
Yeah.
And I seen a piece of it go flicking, and didn't hurt the plane evidently, but he went on and landed. But I imagine he got chewed out.
You got chewed out for that one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were just kind of practice. But
Yeah, they were.
It's a safe place to practice, right? But probably more of a game than practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so so that was at Stone, England. Okay, at the headquarters building kind of area. So that was kind of exciting to watch that.
Then we shipped to what they call oh my goodness, the wash.
The wash? Okay. What is the wash?
It's a big inlet coming off of the North Sea.
Okay.
Huge inlet. And the tides there are real extreme, great.
Okay.
And when the tides are out, that whole inlet is without any water.
No water.
And we have machine guns set up all along the English side of that.
Okay.
The other side is Scotch.
Okay.
And so we have target ships bringing a sock along there, you know.
Okay. Kind of a target behind that.
Target behind, a sock target, they call it. And we shooting, if I'm shooting, I might have red.
Okay.
My bullets
Red
would
bullets.
show up red holes. And we're shooting at and others all along are shooting.
Okay.
And those Scotsmen, when that tide is low and out and gone, they come in there with big wagons, horse-drawn wagons, and to get crabs and
Okay.
oysters and all kinds of seafood.
Stuff's get left
And they don't
behind.
care if all that machine guns are shooting over them.
Yeah. Well, they figure you're shooting up there, not down here, right?
Yeah, well, they hope so.
Okay. All right. So how long were you down there doing target practice?
I remember we were staying in tent shelters, but the bottom part was made out of wood.
Okay.
And then we had latrines out in another direction and snow piled everywhere.
Okay.
A heap of snow.
So it's still that cold in the wintertime.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
chow there, we had to walk a good ways to get to the chow.
Okay.
And that was the worst chow I had doing the service.
Not very
It was
good.
almost you didn't go unless you were really hungry.
Okay. You really had to be desperate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how long do you think you were down there?
Oh, probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. Then what happened from Stones
So we went from there
in the
to
wash?
388.
Okay. So about what time do you remember? Did you get to the 388 after D-Day?
No.
Had D-Day already
we were
occurred? So
there
you got there before D-Day?
Yeah.
Okay. About a week before, 2 weeks before, you think?
Probably something like
Okay.
that. We made our first mission the day after D-Day.
Okay.
June 7th.
Okay. Your first combat mission was after D-Day? Okay.
But it was still invasion.
Okay.
It was still
Was that-
D-Day for.
All right, because I remember. Well, excuse me. Was that mission in direct support of D-Day, or was it some?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it
All right,
was.
because I know the wing or the group conducted 3 missions on D-Day itself, and then they had follow-on missions the next day. I think they had back-to-back missions the next day. So they basically, I think, my recollection, did about 5 missions in that 24-hour period. So you
Yeah.
got to participate in at least one of them. That was your first combat mission.
Right.
Okay. So that would have been like June 7th, 1944. And do you remember what targets y'all went to go hit?
We were hitting railroad yards, and ammunition dumps,
Okay.
bridges.
All right. And do you remember where those were, the railroad yards?
They were around Paris, outskirts of Paris.
Okay, to try to slow down their reinforcement stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. How eventful was that first mission that you recall? I mean, did you have to deal with fighters much or anything?
I was surprised that it was sort of like they say a milk run.
No, it's kind of, I was beginning to think it's kind of sound like it's lead more to kind of a milk run for y'all. You didn't have much flack when you went in around the Paris area?
Not too much.
And then any fighters at all?
No fighters that day.
They were like ducking for some reason.
No.
They didn't want to launch.
We made
during that
some
invasion.
later than that,
Okay,
practically in the same area.
okay. So that was in early June 2000 or 1944. Let me ask you about because right after that, your wing or your group was involved with what was called the mission to Poltava. And that was kind of a bombing mission to somewhere and then continue on to, well, I guess specifically it's a bombing mission to go to the outskirts of Berlin and then continue on to Poltava, which was a Russian base over on the Eastern Front. Can you tell me about that? Did you participate in that particular mission?
Well, I participated, but I didn't either. We only got over the North Sea, and
Okay,
we had to abort. We were lead mission. We were lead crew.
okay. Lead crew.
And so deputy lead had to take over.
Okay,
And we had a runaway prop, and we had to feather that prop, and therefore we had to abandon the mission.
okay. Yeah, to abort the mission, head back.
Yeah.
Was there anything else particularly important about that particular abandonment when you had to come back? Who else? Do you have any?
Oh, yes, we had a correspondent on Stars and Stripes
Okay,
correspondent who I didn't know at the time, but it was Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney. Okay,
And
he was a correspondent plane. So he's on the lead plane, so we can get the whole story.
yes, he was.
Okay.
And he was quite put out because we had to abort.
Okay.
He wanted to make that mission.
Yes, sir. That would have been his claim to fame for something, right? Okay. Well, I
That's
just
right. They wanted to make it, but they didn't really want to make it.
Yes, sir. Well, that's kind of a long, really long, dangerous kind of a
Yeah,
mission.
right.
And did you, after you came back to the base, did you subsequently find out what ultimately happened to that particular mission? When the guys got back to tell you what happened?
Yes, I did.
Can you elaborate on that for me,
Well,
please?
they just, some German plane followed them wherever they were going, and
Okay.
he knew their location, and he went back and told his superiors what happened,
Okay.
where we had landed, and so that night they came over and dropped a lot of these personnel cluster bombs
Yes, sir.
and burning bombs, really.
Yes, sir.
And they just about decimated all of our B-17s.
Okay. So it's kind of made a big mess out of it.
Yes.
Do you remember about how many B-17s were involved in that particular mission to begin with?
Oh,
Was it just a normal 24 ship?
They were
18.
more. It was more than our group. It was several groups, I
Okay.
think, involved.
Okay. Did they all go to Poltava, or just some of them?
That was, as far as I know, all of them. Well, I wouldn't say the whole day was with that mission, but some may have went
Okay.
to other missions
Right.
in Germany.
But we ended up, I believe that was on 24 June 1944. And I think I heard something where we had about 11 of our bombers got blown up there in Poltava. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's
Is that
about it.
better?
Yeah.
You remember how long it took them to finally make their way back?
Well, they, I think what happened, I think they sent in some C-47s, troop transport plane,
Okay.
and took them down to Germany or North Africa.
North Africa. Because they had to, in other words, they sent the Goonie birds or the C-47s to go pick up your air crew because there was no planes to repair and fly by.
Yeah.
And then they had some that were able to be repaired, and they flew back down around through North Africa. Did some get refueled and rearmed and fly back and go ahead and do a mission on the way back straight into Germany and then make it back to Netashall?
Yeah, I think it was some that did
When
that.
there's some, is that where they went to Polson?
That was the mission to start with.
Okay.
To bomb 3 on the way to Poltava, and then on the way from there to Italy,
Okay.
or I mean Southern Africa.
Okay.
North Africa. I mean.
North Africa. Yeah.
And then from there, they were going to bomb on the way back to England.
Okay. All right. Okay. So they did a little bit.